Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Channel. We are back, and it is officially the playoffs. Playoffs?
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 Come on now. We're back, baby.
It's time to grab that bag, claim the bragging rights over your fellow league mates. Adam, are you ready for this fantasy football playoff season?
I could not be more ready. And you know why? Because I got a bye week. That's why I'm so ready. I get to bring a cooler, kick my feet up, do a whole lot of nothing this week.
Yeah,
How are
in
you?
our Big Tuna League, you did claim that top seed. Congrats. I somehow limped to position 3 with the squad I got, so I got to be happy with that. Really wish I could have
Yep.
got the bye, but I put up an egg last week.
Yeah, we won't even talk about how few points that was. That was the lowest week I think we've seen all season.
For me, yes, for sure. I don't know about everybody.
But that's all right. Alrighty, folks, we are back today. We got news. We got the fastest week 14 rundown yet. We're talking a little bit of injuries. A lot of divas are weary out there late in the season. And we're going deep, of course, towards the end. So it's time to tune up the lineups here for a final playoff push. It is the playoffs. Kyle, hit us with some news.
Yeah, breaking. Jaden Daniels out week 15. Is he done for the season? Sucks for me. What a bust for my first round draft pick in a 10-team 2 QB league. Danny Dimes out for season, torn Achilles. Bummer for him. Should be proud of the season he had. Really unfortunate there.
Oh,
Old
yeah.
man Rivers has gotten the call and he is on the practice squad. Will we see them? They have some brutal defenses too. I don't think I would have answered that phone call if I was Philip Rivers.
Absolutely not at 44 years old and haven't played an NFL snap in 5 years. Are you kidding me?
Shadur Sanders has been named the Browns starter rest of season. He is seemingly getting a little bit better each week.
No shocker there. It's the best
Uh,
quarterback play they've seen in years.
Zach Ertz out for season, torn ACL. Will Mr. Ben Sennett step up in those shoes? CD and T. Higgins are both concussed. Some big namers for the playoff push here.
Oh yeah.
Packers, King of the North, once again. Chiefs fall to Texans are on, and they are on the outside of the playoff picture right now, and it is looking pretty bleak for those Kansas City fans. And Mr. Mike Evans might make his return this week. Adam, there's a little bit of news for you. Why don't you give us the rundown? What the heck happened this week?
Week 14 was a doozy. It is now and it is gone. December football's off to the races, folks, and so are we. Beatdowns first. Lions put up 44 against the Cowgirls. Jags smoked the Danny Dimesless Colts. Seattle embarrasses the Falcons 37-9. Rams smoked the Cardinals 45-17. Puka Nakua had himself a day. The Commanders need to head back to basic training because they lost to the worst team in the NFC North. And when I say lost, they lost 31-0 to the worst team in the NFC North. That is sad. What are you guys doing over there? Eagles continue to look like a thing of the past, as do the Chiefs, sporting a 6-7 record, like Kyle just mentioned. The Packers still own the Bears with or without Aaron Rodgers. Take back the NFC North. Christian Watson, 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's very flexible for your lineups, folks. They play again in 2 weeks to hopefully decide the NFC North. Josh Allen continues to play Superman for the Buffalo Bills, 37 points. That ain't bad. JSN, best wide receiver in football. Kyle, is he? Is he?
Looks like it right now.
Fantasy wise, he sure shit is. Shooter Sanders, 33 points, albeit against the Tennessee Titans. Browns haven't seen a quarterback this good since Joe Flacco won comeback player of the year. Next week, games to watch, folks. We got Rams versus Lions, Packers versus Broncos, Chargers versus Chiefs, and a divisional doozy. The Bills
That's the
at
big one.
New England.
That's the big one this week.
Divisional doozy. As we conclude this week's rundown, I want to take a moment of silence for Danny Dimes and one of the most surprising seasons any quarterback has ever had. Thank you, Danny.
Okay. Well done. Let's get into some players outperforming, injuries, and updates.
Yep.
Let's talk about. I'll move here to Mike Evans, limited at practice
Yep.
participant, back to limited tag. He has a chance to come back and play. Baker sure needs him
Yes, they
as
do.
they really looked bad last week. And remember when I was preaching fade Baker? Boy, I'm sure glad I faded Baker.
Yeah.
I will say though, Mike Evans, if he's in, is going to be a very tough guy not to put out there if he's on your team. I think they have a pretty good matchup as well. And Adam, why don't you take the next one?
Yeah. CD Lamb got a concussion last week. Coach says, and I quote, doing good, progressing nicely through concussion protocol. So we'll see if he suits up or not. You got to think if he's progressing nicely, he should. Jalen Wright came alive because Devon Achane exited with a rib injury. Jalen Wright put up 17 points in a PPR league last week. Achane ribs, MRI came back negative for any serious damage, so nothing's broken in there. If anything, he's dealing with some bruised rib or a little bit of strained or torn cartilage in there. We'll see if he suits up this week. Since I got a bye, I hope they rest him this week and let's play him in round 2 of the playoffs. What do you think there, Kyle?
Yeah, if I'm you, that's what I'm rooting for because you got to buy. However, if I'm in need for a running back, Jalen Wright is a immediate waiver wire, certainly flexible immediately. I think if Achane sits,
Yep.
even higher upside, he
Yep.
he hasn't really done anything with any of his time except for last week. He came and performed. It was a good matchup, but if you're hurting at running back, he could be a guy to come in and help you out this late into the playoffs if you somehow got here.
If you somehow got
If
here.
you
Yeah,
somehow
yeah.
got here, he could be a great 1 week rental in your flex, is kind of how I see it.
Yeah, if Achane sits, and it looks
If
like
he
it's kind
sits.
of up. It's kind of up in the air yet, to be honest with you. But that's a good point. It's a good ad there. Other news: Drake London did not practice. He did that PCL a few weeks ago. Since the game is tomorrow, Thursday, I am guessing that he is not going to play. So another week down for London, which is going to hurt fantasy owners come week 1 for that. And then Jaden Daniels, we mentioned a little bit. He re-injured his elbow that he just got back from, where he had that dislocation. Schefter did say he did not have any more additional structural damage. But where they are in the season, Kyle, this really has got to make you wonder: are they going to wind him down for the rest of the season? Because at this point, I would play it safe. Their season's over, and they already ruled him out for this upcoming week 15.
Yeah, I think they should. I don't think there's any sense in playing him. And I have him in the league. And it just makes it harder for me because even when he's out there, he's a shell of himself. So don't even give me
Definitely.
that temptation. Just sit him. Give him an off season to
Well,
recover from this, to get their offense right and try again. I think this has been one of the most disappointing fantasy players and offenses in all of the NFL this year after such a prolific first year last year.
yeah, I mean, going losing to the NFC Championship game to getting 3 or 4 wins. I mean, that is
And
more
this
than a
one is one
slide.
we did not see coming. They kept
No.
consistency with their coaches. They paid Terry McLaurin. It was just some, secondary kind of receivers that they got rid of and replaced. So
A little bit of the injury bug, a little bit of it we'll acknowledge, but it does not make excuse for what we've seen and how poorly the team has played. They have not played like they care, really. That's kind of the best way to put it.
mhm. Did you talk about Harrison Jr. already?
Ooh, I do not
Okay.
think so.
I
Nope.
think we're on to RJ Harvey. Someone I've been preaching about all offseason, as potential here for where he was being drafted. And if you were able to hang on to him, you are now thanking yourself because 2 weeks of really good performances. It did take an injury to Dobbins to get him here, but hey, this is the reality of it. I have him in the league, and he is hard to not put in my lineup. They do draw the Green Bay Packers this week. It is a tough defense. We're going to break that down in a separate episode. But
Yep.
if you have him, he's producing.
I'll give you an inch of credit on this one. You called this well before the season started. You said he'd come in the second half of the
Second
season and
half of the
perform,
season.
and he is doing it, but only because Dobbins is hurt. Had Dobbins be there, be much more interesting. But you did hit it on the head in terms of how it's playing out, so I'll give you credit there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. Gibbs
You better.
remains dominant. I think he might be number one overall in fantasy and standard scoring. If I checked for points, he has just been on a tear lately. Montgomery is completely in the back seat right now. It is the
Yep.
Gibbs show. JSN is similar. He is just dominating for divas out there. Remains the most consistent wide
You
receiver.
hear that, Tony? You hear that, Tony? I know you're out there. Me and Tony have a bet going
How's he
on this
doing for
one.
targets?
I think he's at 121 targets.
And what was your bet? 150?
150 for $100, and we got 4 games left? Yeah, 4 games left. So all he's
Okay.
got to. Oh yeah, he's well pacing. Stay healthy, my brother. Get that done for me.
Okay.
Get it done.
Okay, we should figure out. You should probably put an at him or whatever if we can do that on YouTube. I don't know.
Dave.
Dave, Nakua. Beast, and he's getting into the end zone finally. This
He
was his
is
problem last year. He is finally getting some touchdowns. So he is looking real good for your playoff push here.
staying healthier. Healthier, that helps.
Jaden Reed, why don't you talk about the Packers divas here? Jaden Reed is
Yeah.
back.
He is back. However, I just dropped him this morning to load up on some extra defenses. The reason for that is Christian Watson is by far the number one wide receiver in this Packers offense right now. I'm not saying it'll be that way forever, but that is clear today how it is looking right now. Ever since Watson came back, that is who he has been targeting in terms of Jordan Love. So if you have Christian Watson play him, everyone else is a sit on that Packers wide receiver core.
Yeah, I'm in a similar camp as well, and it hurts for Reed. I don't think, depending your format, I don't know if I'd drop Reed, but for right now, he's certainly hard to get in your lineup. Now, watch, he'll blow up this week. Watson will put in like.
Yep, absolutely, probably.
Michael Wilson is just been completely outperforming without Marvin Harris Jr. Puts up 37 PPR points. Wow. If you have him and if Marv is out again, you got to start this guy, and he is a beast mode.
Yeah, he's not getting enough recognition for what he's done with Marvin Harrison being out with that heel injury. And yeah, I mean, anyone that picked him up and put him in, there's no one else to throw the ball to. You know what I mean? It's just like, put him in. He's gonna if Marvin Harrison is out.
I mean, it also shows you what a serviceable passing quarterback can do in that offense, right? This is how bad Kyler Murray has been in there.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
I don't know if he's gonna have another team to start on again.
Yeah. Another brutal day for Justin Jefferson, even with the return of McCarthy and McCarthy performing. I think McCarthy had 3 touchdowns. I think they all went to tight ends.
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of tight ends, I know I've been working on mine. How about yours?
All day, baby. Squats all day.
Mike Gesicki, out of nowhere, seemingly, puts up 20 points with Joe Burrow back. Deeper leagues, that's something to monitor or stream if you're desperate at the position. Dawson Knox had 17 PPR points in his performance this week. And then a big day for Harold Fannin if, he's available. There was a league, 10-team league, where I did add him. He's been on and off teams all season long. I added him. If Njoku is out, Njoku has some kind of a knee injury he's dealing with, I'm starting this guy, and I don't care. And I've been plagued on this specific team for poor tight end play all season long.
For everyone else listening, if Kyle does start him, please
watch out
and drop him because he will do nothing more than 2 points, as that's all Kyle's tight ends can do this year is put up 2 points.
Seemingly.
We'll have to give you an update on that one as it happens for sure.
Yeah. Some free agent scoops here. I found Jacksonville's defense available, and they draw the New York Jets with 2 quarterbacks that are both injured in Tyrod and Fields. They would be down to their 3rd string quarterback and a defense that has come a long way and has done really well for turnovers. So feel good if you can grab them. We didn't talk about Tony Pollard, but wow. Kudos to Tony Pollard on a monster week. And I think there was some coordinator change or offensive coaching change that may have shifted this, but it looks like it's going to be his show. I'm hoping it's not just a 1-game wonder here. What are your thoughts on Tony Pollard?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's never been consistent either way, right? So it's not something I'm overly excited about. I'm not overreacting to, but when you have 25 carries for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns, you got to make note of it. And if you need a flex, I'd say pick him up and put him in there.
Yeah, if he's available, he might not be available in most leagues. They played Cleveland, which was one of the best run defenses in all of the NFL going into this game. He had 25 carries, 160 yards, averaged 6.4 yards a clip. 2 touchdowns.
Beastly.
So they play San Francisco this week, and despite their defensive coordinator there, Robert Saleh, they're a weaker run defense than Cleveland for sure. More of a middle-of-the-pack group from what I've seen. Obviously, the injury to Fred Warner this season is really kind of, you can't replace him.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's been so many massive injuries to that defense. Fred Warner, Joey Bosa, a couple other their main captains on defense have been out.
So I think that's a very interesting play if he's on your team anywhere. If he gets anywhere near those 20 touches, it can be anywhere near 6 yards. I mean, that's good for this point in the season. If you got him somewhere in the flex, even if you're desperate in a deeper league as an RB2 fill in, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. You have been lower on Blake Corum. You just cannot give this guy any credit whatsoever.
Why?
This has
Why would
become a
I?
50-50 timeshare.
No, it
I
is
agree.
not.
Kyron Williams is a better running back. This is a 50-50 backfield.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is. Whether
No,
they're
it is
keeping
not.
him healthy for playoffs or whatever you want to call it, this is 50-50.
No, it is not.
Look it up. Look
I'm
it
pulling up
up.
his
Go look
stat
up the
share
numbers right
right
now.
now.
It's
Yeah,
50-50.
okay. It's not 50-50.
It's
As I'm looking
50-50.
at it right now, Blake Corum's snap percentage in reverse order, 31% week 14, 33%, 34, 31, 39, 28. He's averaging 30% snap share, which is by definition not 50-50, I'm afraid.
Okay, well, let's look at his attempts. Last
It'll be
week, okay, he had
70-30.
31% snapshot. He's had 30. He's in the 30s the last 5 or 6 weeks here.
That's correct, which is 70-30.
Last week,
is the
he had
split.
12 attempts, 128 yards. That's a 10-yard average and 2 touchdowns.
I'm not saying
12
it's not
attempts.
good production. It's good
What did
production.
Kyron do? What did Kyron do? Let's see.
Kyron had 13
Hold
carries
up.
for 84 yards, 6.5 yards per carry.
Kyron
and a
Williams
touchdown
had
as well.
one more carry than Blake Corum last week.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not a 50-50, I don't know what is.
Well, in terms of this, okay. Well, when you beat up a team 45-17, the backup running back's going to get more carries in the back end of the game. You know this. This isn't a competitive
Okay,
game.
well, what do you
They
want to call?
blew
What do you
them out.
want to call this a 60-40?
I will. You're pushing me here. I think 70-30 is what it really is, and when it really matters. But if you want, I can give you 60-40, but I won't put my name on it.
I'll give you Kyron Williams snap share the last 6 weeks. 51, 67, 66,
I know, I just looked at
69,
it.
58.
Mhm.
So this is like a 65-35 mathematically
go.
speaking for
I'll
snap
take
share.
that. That's accurate.
Well, look at his carries though. Let's
No,
see.
I said that's
13,
accurate.
13, 12, 12, 14. What did Corum have those previous weeks?
Not as many, but close. But they've been beaten up on a lot of teams. You got to remember, half of their games haven't really been that competitive. So that helps the cause. But nonetheless,
Okay,
is he
all
pick
right.
up worthy?
It is like a
Sure.
true mathematically timeshare is 65-35. The touches though is a little more 60-40 is from what I'm seeing.
We're gonna let this number die. We're moving on.
Okay. All right.
We're
Anyways,
moving on from this fallen.
what's the
soldiers
matchup
to
this
more.
week? Who do they play this week?
I don't know. You look at that while I talk about fallen soldiers. What do I mean by this, folks?
Oh,
What
they
I
play
mean is-
Detroit. All right. I don't feel confident in Blake Corum against Detroit.
There you go. There's reality circling back into the surface.
And then after
Okay.
that, they play Seattle. All right.
Yeah,
So
there's not much love to be had there for a backup running back who gets 35% snap share.
well, I mean, deeper leagues, he might be a candidate.
We're
but
not talking that
He
deep.
draws a
Not
couple
today.
touch. We're going deep.
We're
He
not
does
going
draw a
that
couple
deep.
tough matchups.
Not today, we aren't.
All
All
right.
right, fallen soldiers. What do I mean, folks? I mean NFL teams that are no longer with us and eliminated from playoff contention, starting with the NFC, the New York Giants, the Washington Commanders, the 3-10 Saints, Arizona Cardinals, and the Atlanta Falcons. That means a couple of terrible teams that still, for some reason, have a small chance in the NFC. Vikings, Cowboys, Panthers. All 4 of those teams somehow could still make it. It would be a hope and a prayer, but they're in. Alrighty, moving on to the AFC. Who is no longer with us? The Tennessee Titans. Back-to-back years, first overall draft pick. That's what they need. Raiders are out. Browns are out. Jets are out. And then this is where it gets kind of fun. The Bengals, 4-9. They must have a 0.0001 chance.
Is it their division?
It could-
Because
either-
Baltimore and Steelers are both like 6 and 7 or 7. They're like close to 500.
That's why. That would do it. That would do it. Other honorable mentions still hanging in there. Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens. Two
The
teams
Dolphins.
would not.
I got to give the Dolphins some credit.
Mhm.
They've been on a burner here, playing strong.
After starting out to be one of the worst teams in the NFL,
Yeah.
they've at least swung back. I'll give McDaniels and the team some credit there, but I kind of
Same.
wanted to see McDaniels go. But yeah, you're not wrong. But the fact that they're in the same mouth as the Chiefs and the Ravens, that's a problem for the Chiefs and the Ravens. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then the Colts 8-5, no longer with Danny Dimes. I'm sure they're going to lose every game from here on out, unfortunately. But that's it. That's the fallen soldiers, folks. We'll keep you posted on that and who's still hanging on by a thread.
Okay. You got anybody going deep or no?
No, sir. I saw your one going deep, and I got sick in my mouth and decided I didn't want to do that segment anymore.
All right, we'll bring that up on the next episode. We are going to bring a special episode tomorrow. Tune in as we deep dive one of our playoff matchups and who we're starting, why, and all that juicy stuff. It is a 10-team, 2 QB standard scoring, rough and tough league. Those are brutal ones, especially for the quarterback position.
Mhm.
And we will catch you guys in that one.